So I'm back again with 3 new seed hauls, and they've been sitting here for a minute, waiting to be unpackaged. But a lot of things have been going on here, so I've been outside and enjoying the beautiful spring weather, getting stuff done outdoors, and I've got 3 new seed packages. Let's go ahead and crack this one open and see what we got in store today. Hi everybody, this is Aubrey, Crybabies Sentimental Homestead, and we have 3 seed packages. Seed mail, don't you love it? So let's go ahead and see what we got in the first package. Package is from True Leaf Market. It's a big package, but probably only a few things. So you guys are probably going to think I'm crazy. Crazier than you think I probably already think I am. So this is from True Leaf Market. If you want to check them out, they've got their code right there. And I agree with them on so many things. Like, we believe that everyone should enjoy the joy of growing. So the seeds I got, 1 giant package. This is a pound of Bloomsdale long-standing spinach. And I didn't just get this for myself. Guess who's going to eat that much spinach? How much spinach is in a pound of seeds? I'll have to look that up in a second. But I actually bought this because I like to do seed swaps and like exchanges. So like I might go to a plant seed swap where I give out a bunch of packages of different kinds of seeds, and maybe I take home a couple plants or other seed varieties that I don't have. And so I know everybody loves spinach, and I know my kids do, so I know they wanted me to grow some in the garden this year. I don't usually grow spinach because it bolts so easy. I like to grow Malabar spinach, New Zealand spinach, mosh, and lamb's quarters, amaranth, a lot of things that can handle the heat better. But this is something that my family really wanted me to get. Look at the beautiful packaging. But the other reason I get that is because I like to do prizes in my classroom. I teach science, and I've got a little PBIS store, positive behavior intervention thing going on, and the whole school participates, and I will put seed packages in the reward store. And so they can get all different kinds of varieties. Well, if I was to do that full price, there's no way anyone could ever afford to do that. But if I already buy this for myself, right, the school doesn't pay for this. But I just love the idea of the kids growing their own gardens. And so many of them are. I've got my classroom full of little plants and K-cups and stuff like that. But the kids actually make their own little seed packets, and they get to keep them. They can give them to their parents for Mother's Day, Father's Day, whatever. Some of my students actually want to be little entrepreneurs and sell their little seeds and seed packages and plants starts so that they can buy things. So 2 of the boys in my class who are doing this want to buy trains, like train sets. And I thought that's really cute because 12 and 13-year-old boys usually aren't into that stuff anymore. So I think it's really cool. And then I actually overheard a couple of my other students saying that they wanted to buy stuff. They didn't have any money, and they were going to plant stuff and then try to do, like, at a little yard sale or something, sell some of their plants. I thought that was a really clever idea, and I'm doing that too. But I think it's really clever that some 12 and 13-year-old children or preteens, adolescents are coming up with that idea on their own. And so maybe they'll be future farmers. So I'm going to add spinach to my PBIS store and have that ready for the next time I do a seed swap. So, and then I'll actually plant some and give some to my daughter because she absolutely loves spinach. And I'll pretend I do too. It's good. Okay, it's good. I like spinach artichoke dip. That's really good. All right, let's get to the next package. I think this one might have come through Etsy, and the seed vendor is out of Oregon. Let's go ahead and rip it open and see what I've got inside. I actually bought these seeds through Walmart. So, you know, when you buy things from Walmart, it's not always from them. They actually act like a third party, like the intermediary between other places. So this is from OutsidePride.com. And they included a 10% off coupon for me for next time. This seed, both of these packages together and I actually only bought one item, and it was for 400 seeds. So I guess each of these must have 200. Yeah. So I only ordered one, like one order, and it was 400. And I don't mind, it comes in 2 packages. Sometimes that happens with, I actually bought some seeds like, I guess last year, where I bought like a large number of seeds, and instead of coming in one big container, I have like lots of small packages, which is kind of nice in one way because I could give them out as gifts. I think that's really cute. But I love Nasturtium. They are edible flowers, and I was just making up seed packets of the Red Empress of India. I really love Nasturtium. They're beautiful flowers. The leaves, the foliage is really beautiful too. And you can buy packages with probably almost as many seeds at like Home Depot. But they're usually like the Alaska variety. And they'll usually all be like all orange or all yellow. Maybe you'll get a couple colors. Even the ones that say they're mixed colors, lots of different colors, they're almost all orange. Special varieties like this one here that has this beautiful like reddish splotches on each of the petals, these are more expensive. So there's like, like every type of plant has a special varieties. I can't speak today. But I think this is just absolutely charming. I have lots of different varieties of Nasturtium. One thing I love about them, besides them being pollinator friendly, beautiful, very ornamental, is that they're edible. And you can eat the flowers and the seeds and the leaves. And so what I would do is I would take the leaves and put them on a sandwich in place of like mustard or pepper. They are kind of spicy like black pepper. The flowers I would use like on the outside part. Like if you have like a spring roll, you put the flower with the flower side facing out so that when you tuck the egg roll or the spring roll together, you can see the flower through the wrapping. That's really beautiful. And again, the flowers are also spicy. Not spicy like hot spicy. Spicy like, I'd say like black pepper. It's kind of like a really strong flavor. So I wouldn't use a lot. But it's pretty cool to have flowers that you can eat. Now the seeds, they look like little tiny brains, almost like a garbanzo bean looks like a brain. But these are more wrinkly, and they look a little bit more dry. Even if garbanzo beans are dry, I don't know if that makes sense. They look kind of corky. They look kind of wooden looking and corky, and they vary in size. And some of the nasturtiums are trailing, and some of them are like a little tiny, like a little bush. So some of them might cascade down if you have them in a hanging basket. Some won't, and they don't always make it super clear on the packaging which type it is. Like it doesn't say here, but I don't really care. I'll be happy with any type of growing habits because they're just so beautiful. Now, aphids really are drawn to nasturtiums. So you can use nasturtium as a trap crop if you have a problem with aphids. If you like do like a hanging pot or something off to the perimeter of your property, that will draw the aphids away from like your brassicas and other things that are prone to aphids. I love nasturtium so much. I don't just use them as a trap crop. Sometimes they turn into a trap crop. That's unfortunate if that happens, but it does save your brassicas. So if you have problems with aphids, nasturtiums might be a way to get rid of them. If I have a plant that's really infested with aphids, you can sacrifice that plant. I know that sounds really sad, but that is a way to get rid of them, like with certainty, is to just like full on pull the entire plant if it's really infested. If you're trying to save the plant, you can just spray them off. They'll come back or they'll go to other plants. If you're trying to get rid of them and break their life cycle and reduce their numbers, like permanently, or at least I can't say permanently. I mean, they're going to be dead, so though that's permanent for them. But if you want to reduce the numbers of aphids and pests in your garden, you can trap crop and throw the entire plant in the trash. If you're trying to save the plant, though, you just spray them off. But I love nasturtium. They're beautiful. Oh, I was going to say about the seeds. I've heard people like pickle them like a caper, but like they take the immature seed pod, not the mature one, but the immature seed pod, and they put them in some kind of brine. And I don't like capers, so I'm not going to waste a seed. I am a seed-aholic. If you haven't noticed, I'm really obsessed with seeds. And if using the plant material means destroying the seed, that's really hard for me. So like things like sunflower seeds and pumpkin seeds and that kind of stuff, where if you're trying to eat the seed, like when I think about it, I'm like, oh my gosh, that could be a whole plant. That's difficult for me. So I'm trying to not be so weird. But in the back of my mind, that's what I am thinking. Like, I could get a whole plant out of this one seed. Why would I eat it? And it doesn't barely do anything for me. So you have to have a lot of them. So I prefer to eat the foliage. Even like eating the flowers, I would do that like as kind of like a rare kind of special treat, because if you pick and eat the flower, that flower won't produce a seed. But it can stimulate the plant into to producing more flowers that will produce seeds. So if I'm like late in the season and I really want seeds for next year, I'm not going to pick the flowers to eat them. If I'm really early in the season, I can pick them and eat them, and they'll keep producing for a long time. So, but these are annuals. They don't produce forever, and you definitely want to get seeds out of them, and they will produce seeds. They tend to just like drop them in place. So if you want to get those seeds and save them, you want to grab them before they get damaged when you water them and stuff like that. So, but anyway, I talked about that a long time, didn't I? I love nasturtium though. So here's another variety. Oh, and I didn't even tell you it's called Tom Thumb Ladybird. So I'm going to infer that this is like a bush type, because Tom Thumb is usually something small. So it's going to be kind of a smaller plant, which is fine. I can tuck it into a hanging basket. This would be really pretty to put with like a Mother's Day gift. One year I did hanging baskets with lettuce and spinach and things like that. And I think something like this, where it's an edible flower, where the leaves, people aren't going to get confused, because the leaves and the flowers are both edible. So like if you had spinach and arugula and all that kind of stuff in a hanging basket that's like an edible salad arrangement, this would be a beautiful addition to that kind of arrangement. This box is from Everwilde Farms. Let's go ahead and tear it open. What do we have in here? So the first package here is Laurentian rutabaga, and I absolutely love rutabaga. If you haven't had it before, it tastes like kind of like an earthy potato. It has its own flavor, and I like it better than potatoes. I know that sounds like a lie, but it's true. Like, all I did was cut them up into like little tiny wedges, and then I put some olive oil and salt, and I ended up having to like bake it or broil it for a long time. Like, they took a long time, but it was so delicious, and I decided I need to grow rutabaga every year. So this is kind of nice. It says sow outside early spring, which is now, quarter of an inch deep, 6 inches apart, 16-inch rows, 18 inches tall, and it takes 105 days in full sun to get a crop. So it does say it's a cool weather crop. So it can be grown if you plant it in very early spring, or for a fall crop after the hottest part of summer. So to me, that's kind of confusing. The hottest part of summer. So I would say that would be like July is the hottest part of summer. So definitely have enough seeds here that I can share and swap and all that kind of stuff. And yes, they're beautiful. So I do have some other kind of special varieties. This is a very basic type, but I think it's really worthwhile. So I will probably be planting these in pots and in raised beds, and I'm really excited about them. I have to keep pausing because me and my kids keep gagging and coughing. We have a really bad cold or some kind of flu virus or something. But this is a really great thing to grow. And if you don't grow potatoes, if carrots are hard for you, then you should be growing rutabagas. So the next package is this red burgundy okra, and it's another pound of seeds, a whole pound. And some people I saw posting on a Baker Creek Facebook ad, and they were like, is it too late? It's not too late. Now is the perfect time to plant okra. But even if it was too late, planting okra just for the flowers is worth it. The flowers are absolutely gorgeous. They look like hibiscus. Really beautiful. So I love okra too. But when you get these and they're all sliced up and battered and fried okra is delicious. Probably not the healthiest way to have it, but it's yummy that way. It says sow it outside late spring. I think you could do it anytime. And if I have a pound of it, what's going to stop me? So I'd probably do it now all the way through end of May, and just see what happens. But this is red burgundy okra, so that the pods have that really beautiful red blush to them. And you're going to plant them half an inch or quarter of an inch deep, 14 inches apart, 32-inch rows, and they grow 60 inches tall. The motherland okra grows even taller. So if you're interested in a really special variety from Baker Creek, they have motherland okra. That's really cool. But I'm going to be planting this red burgundy okra. I'm also going to be doing seed swaps and prizes with this plant. Next seed variety I have here are champion collards. And collard greens are so delicious. They grow so well. And I'm just really surprised that more Pacific Northwest gardeners aren't growing collards. I do know some people growing tree collards, and I'm growing them as well. But they're all many different kinds. I've got Georgia collards, Southern collards, champion collards, and this is a whole pound of seed. This package was $15 for a pound. And, oops, I flipped it over upside down. So this particular plant, we're planting outside in early spring, which is now, half an inch deep, 24 inches apart, full sun, 32-inch rows, and 32 inches tall. And you can plant again, so you can plant early for a spring crop, and then again for a fall. So 6 to 8 weeks before your first fall frost. My first fall frost is like the first week of October. So September. So like the last week or about the last week of August for me, maybe somewhere around August 20th, maybe August 15th if I want to make sure, because it might take a while for the seeds to sprout too. So you kind of have to account for germination. So probably mid to late August is when I would be planting these for a second harvest. But I also want to let some plants go. So some of my plants that I plant in the spring, I'll let them go to seed. And then I'll have lots and lots of seeds. One thing to keep in mind, though, is that it is a brassica. So there might be some cross-pollination if you're letting other brassicas go to seed. But I'm excited about this. Yep. It does tolerate heat very well. By the way, collards tolerate heat better than lettuce. So that might be a good lettuce alternative. My last seed packet for today, this is Clemson Spineless Okra. And like the burgundy okra, same kind of dealio. My same kind of comments probably. I love fried okra. They have beautiful flowers. The flowers look like hibiscus. So they're really, really pretty. I would say that okra could pass as an ornamental. And if you have like an HOA, I bet you no one would have any idea what it is. So if you want to grow vegetables in your front yard and sneak it past your HOA, you might try okra. But, so this packet, pretty much the same instructions here. So now online, when I was reading about a different variety of okra, it said early spring, but I don't think it matters so much. You know, especially if you have a pound of seed to experiment with, you can really figure out in your microclimate what works for you if you're getting a package that's this giant. I'm really pleased with all of my seeds today, and I've got so many different things: edible greens, flowers, and so the nasturtium flowers, and then the okra flowers, then you've got the pods, then you've got these collard greens, so many different things, rutabagas for the nice big roots. So, and yeah, so just like, I'm super thrilled. You know, this is probably about $100 worth of seeds, but I've got so many seeds. And if you think about it this way, in this one packet here, I could make like 100 or more packets and trade them at a seed swap, plant swap for a plant. So there's no way this is like, I mean, think about it that way. Like, if each plant I swapped for was $1, then this is $100, but I only paid $15. So it's a really good deal for me. And I'm going to be using them as prizes in my classroom as well. Like I said, seed swaps and so forth. And also in my garden and as gifts. So anyway, be good, be sweet, grow a garden if you want to eat. Take some vitamin C, because I am so sick. I'll see you guys next time. Grow a garden if you want to eat. Ciao.